dude. Let's switch gears here. You then basically started doing stunts in 1963 all the way till now. You've worked in probably 1,000 pictures.
Where did you get 63?
Well, that's what it said on your IMDb page. There was some uncredited stuff back then, and you probably weren't credited to like 67.
Well,
Did you start even earlier?
You're giving bad information now.
Well, let's straighten the record out.
What I've got there, I'll burn your house down.
All right.
You know, my doctor has me on matches this year. I was on Velcro before and I couldn't do anything to the guys, but now I'm on matches. I got my Screen Actors Guild card in 1955.
Oh, wow.
And in 1960 they started residuals. In other words, you worked and you got paid again, and
That's always nice.
yeah, if you get to work, you're going to be rich, and it's great to be rich. But I don't know, you kind of ugly. I don't know. See, I'm not only rich, but I'm good looking. Are you good looking?
I'm not.
Don't ask your mother.
I'm not quite as lucky. We've worked in so many movies and TV shows. You actually fought Elvis Presley in some of his movies, little fight scenes, correct?
Oh yeah, Blue Hawaii, and tell you a little story about Elvis, great guy. I had no money then. I wasn't rich like you know. And so he gave me a $100 bill. He used to hand them out like they were popcorn. And I says, my God, a $100 bill. You know, I can drive to Chicago with that and have change coming back. Anyway, I went out and I had the biggest steak I could have. Filet mignon with salad, baked potato, strawberry shortcake, $6. And I had money. I was paying in a beautiful house, $45 a month rent.
Oh my goodness.
So anyway, if I wasn't dumb and I was smart like you people, I would have saved that $100 bill, go without eating, and I could have had that $100 bill now and have him sign it, and it'd be worth maybe $100,000.
Oh, yeah.
An Elvis Presley $100 bill.
Now Elvis was big into karate. Ed Parker's Kenpo karate.
Very big.
Did you guys ever talk martial arts talk back and forth or train at all?
No, he never trained. We worked out a little bit, a few things on the set, but Ed Parker was a great martial artist in his own right. He made Kenpo karate popular. He had his few schools, and he's the one that got me into that Milo Savage fight, because they wrote an article in this Road magazine, and he came over to my school and he says they offered $1,000 to anybody that can beat their boxer. And I says, well, why not one of the Kenpo guys? He said, well, we had a meeting with 200 of our black belts, and they wanted somebody that could go against a boxer that they thought would do well. And so they voted for me. And I said, why me? And he says, Ed told me this. He said, an honest man. He said, you're the most sadistic bastard I've ever met. And that's what started it. That changed my life a little bit.
That changed a lot of things. That was the first grappling versus striking matchup that, you know, kind of started the MMA thing.
I had those all my life, but not for money. I'd go to the wrestling gym, and the wrestler would beat me up a little bit when I was a young kid. Hit him with a left hook, he'd go down, and I got kicked out of the gym. So I go to the boxing gym, guy hits me with a couple uppercuts, a hook and a jab, and then I can't beat him boxing. Pick him up, body slam him, laid the boots to him, and I got kicked out of that gym too.
For being the original mixed martial artist, pretty much.
It's a learning process, but don't do like I did. I expect you people to be a lot smarter, but I had a room temperature IQ.
Speaking of some of the famous people you worked with, what about Bruce Lee? You worked with him a number of times on sets doing stunts, and then you guys trained together and you taught him some grappling.
Yeah, Bruce Lee worked with me a year, And he would have worked longer, but he was on different movies, and I was on his, he did a documentary on Bruce Lee, and it was very well done by a producer from Canada. And Bruce Lee taught me a lot of spinning kicks that I was skinny. I looked like a polio victim. I was so skinny, and helped me with show business. And I taught him judo throws, arm bars, and stuff like that.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I always wondered this: the sketch of all the submissions that is in the Taoji Kundo. I have a poster on my wall with all these great, catch wrestling style submission holds. Was that actually something he traced from your sketches of these neck cranks and figure four face holds and locks? And
he did a thing called Enter the Dragon, a movie. Chuck Norris, Bob Wall were in it. And it was a classic. And still, Enter the Dragon is a classic. He says, you come to Hong Kong and you work on a movie with me, Enter the Dragon. I says, Bruce, you don't know it, but the dragons died of old age maybe 3 or 4 years ago. And he says, Bakatori Hakajin, that's Japanese for, he was Chinese. And he said, no, I'm the dragon. And that's what he was known as, the little dragon. Great athlete and a great human being, terrific human being, but he wanted to pay me $200 a week, and I said, are you crazy? I get $1,000 a week here, and that's when $1,000 a week, now the stunt guys get, 10 times that. But that was big money then. And I said, go there and eat, go to China, and in the soup they've got things that are crawling around. And man, if it isn't hot, boiling hot, that slows these little crawling things down a bit. And then you can eat them,
Well, yeah, your grappling influence on him, I think, can be seen in the opening scene in Enter the Dragon, which, he's going against Samuel Young. He's got the JKD Kenpo fingerless gloves on. It kind of was MMA again before its time, that opening scene, and you finish with a submission hold.
He did a straight arm bar, that's very popular in judo. And Ronda Rousey, who works out here and other places too, Ronda Rousey is terrific, by far the best woman fighter of all time.
And the queen of arm bars.
She's had 9 fights. 3 amateurs, 6 pros, they all ended up with an arm bar. And that's what Bruce Lee did in the movie. He says, I want to show you what I did. Everybody claims, I'm in her corner when she fights. Everybody claims to be a teacher of hers. Well, her main teacher was her mother, who was a 1984 world judo champion. Anna Marie is her name.
Yeah, I did a nice interview with her last month.
And
right after Ronda won.
And she's in my new book, and a great athlete in her own right, and she comes here and teaches the class once in a while. So they say, Gene, I understand you teach her. And I says, I don't teach her like everybody else. I have 3 words that I say. Only 3. And she learned from him, because she's had 9 matches, 9, 3 amateurs, 6 pros, all with a arm bar. So my instruction for her, 3 words: break a arm. And she's done it.
Over and over again. About a minute each usually.
She's got other techniques that she does, but she tries to make Uncle Gene happy, because I get fifth impression if they don't do